Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for July 2021. This month we are just going to jump right in here, Sagittarius, and take a look at what is going on for you at this time. We'll take both of these cards, why not? And really interesting, you have the Knight of Wands twice here, so we're gonna have to, I feel like that is you. We're gonna have to see where this goes. Anyway, make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, make sure to only follow the social media accounts linked down below. There are tons of scammers, spammers, just crappy people online. So I will never contact you asking for money. I will never offer personal readings, so please make sure that you don't get scammed and only follow those accounts. If anyone contacts you asking for money, claiming to be me, or asking for a personal reading, claiming they're selling personal readings, it is not me. So make sure to report those people. But Sagittarius, you have the Knight of Wands here, so I feel like you're very driven, very motivated at this time. Very motivating reading. I like this. You have the Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, Four of Wands, Card of Freedom, Wheel of Fortune, Three of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. Damn, is all I have to say about that, Sagittarius. And sorry, my dog keeps setting off my camera as usual. You'd think I'd learn to turn it off by now, but I don't. So anyway, what I would say here is that I feel like there's like this very strong desire for you to charge forward and to make a lot of progress. You have this Andean cross card here. This is a combination of the Good Tarot and the Sacred Shaman Oracle. Shout out to Sand Tarot. This is her idea that I stole from her, and I just love it. So I call this mega deck, and it's like my favorite deck. But this card to me, it can represent all the directions but it kind of says like you've gone in a cycle through this cycle, and now I feel like you're almost at the top of the cross here, and it's like you're ready to really accomplish something here, Sagittarius. So I definitely get like a sense of accomplishment in your reading. So this looks very good. You have the Ace of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups here. I do feel like there could be some sort of truth coming in for you here with that Ace of Swords. I'm trying to think of a good way to describe this truth. It's because it's kind of like a relief. I feel like saying the truth brings relief or something. It's not. It is not the truth sets you free, but it's like one of those things where I don't even know that this is the truth. Like someone telling you the truth or anything. To me, this could just be the truth in the sense that it's like sometimes I think we make big deals out of things, like just random stuff, that goes on in life, and then it turns out not being a big deal. And then we feel great, right? So I feel like you've been going through something, and it's kind of like now that you're on the other side, you're like, wow, that really wasn't that big of a deal. So I kind of get that sense of relief. If you've been going through a situation, I feel like the outcome is much better than you realize, or it's just going to be just a huge, kind of weight off your shoulders is what I'm getting here. Could be a legal situation for some of you. For others, I feel it could be like maybe you have to go and do something but it just feels like a lot of stuff to me. It's like I really don't have a good example for you, Sagittarius, but it's like sometimes I think we do things like buy a house or any one of those major life changes that you could that people go through. It's kind of like you're going through that and like you're getting to the end now, and I feel like it's just such a relief. It's like, and it's much easier than you thought it was going to be. So I kind of get that fear of sometimes I think if we've never done something before in our lives, like anything, if we've never bought a house, or if we've never bought a car, or if we've never, had to go to court or whatever, right? It's like if we've never done that, it's very scary because it's like we've never experienced it before. I feel like you're going through one of those situations here. For others, I feel like someone is revealing their truth to you, and this could involve love because you have the Two of Cups right here. That Seven of Pentacles, I kind of feel, if I'm being honest with you, just like intuitively, I almost feel like someone took too long. It's like, I don't know if you've ever, what's popping into my head, I don't know if you've ever been like interested in a person, but then they like don't make a move, so they end up in the friend zone. I feel like this person is like this close to being in the friend zone because it's like they're not making a move. You have the Page of Swords, definitely could be a truth coming out with the Page of Swords. You have the Death card, something is changing here. And the Justice card, the truth, like I said, the truth is definitely coming out here. There's definitely a sense of justice here, but again, the justice that you're receiving, the only word I'm getting is relief, so I just feel that there's a major relief here. If there's a person approaching you, I do feel they feel, I feel like saying yes would be a good idea. I mean, you could give this person a chance if you want to. Again, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not going to force you to do anything. Obviously, I can't. But what I would say here is 2 of Cups, 10 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands here, marriage. So I do feel, even if this person took a little bit too long, I do feel like it would be worth it. And there'd be a lot of romance there as well, Ace of Wands. So, you know, I feel like you would be disappointed if you didn't go through with it. If we take this diagonal going up, we have the 2 of Cups, 5 of Cups, 4 of Wands. It's like you would, 5 of Cups could say that you'd be missing out on something if you don't go for it. So it might be something you want to consider if someone, even if someone took too long to kind of get around to asking you out. But for a lot of you, I just feel with that Death card, which is weird, like I feel like this person has a sense of loss. Like they have that fear of missing out thing. So that could be what's, pushing a person to communicate with you here, Sagittarius. I'm getting a lot in this first row. It's kind of weird. It could be a Libra that is communicating with you. It could be any sign, but Libra stands out to me here. Next, you have the Peacock Spirit says, let it shine. So I feel like you are letting something out. I've been talking to you about this for a very long time, Sagittarius. I feel like for a very long time, you've been working on some sort of hidden talent, gift, skill, or ability. And this could be, a cooking skill. It could be something you do on YouTube. Maybe you're really good at jumping rope. I don't care what it is. Doesn't matter, right? I feel like there are opportunities that are going to make you very successful. I say this all the time, that I feel like between now and the end of 2025, like people are going to be making money in ways that we just never even thought possible, right? Like, did you ever think that it was going to be possible for people to make money on YouTube? I didn't, right? I never thought that was going to be possible, but now people make like ridiculous amounts of money on YouTube. We're going to see like more of that happening over the next like 5 years or so, and it's not going to stop after the next 5 years. I'm just saying we are kind of witnessing the development of new ways of making money, where we're kind of entering into this like global marketplace, I believe, where it's like your skills are going to be marketable all over the world. It could be on Instagram, it could be on YouTube, it could be whatever, right? So for a lot of you, it's kind of like you could have a certain hidden talent, gift, skill, or ability, and by developing that, then you could become very successful. You don't even need to be very tech savvy to make this happen. The other thing I like to remind people is I constantly get comments from people who are always like, I'm too old to learn tech skills. I'm like, well, okay, so what? Like, even if it took you 5 years, again, I say this all the time, my favorite person of all time, Brian Tracy says in 5 years, it's going to be 5 years anyway, right? So it's like, why not use the next 5 years to learn a skill? Even if it takes you 5 years, you're going to be in a much better position if you do it. So I don't think you're too old. I don't think you're too young. I don't think you're too anything, right? And I would take action, but I feel like there's something that you need to kind of let out. And I would encourage you to learn the skill. I feel like basically, this reading is saying that you're going to be very successful if you do that. You have the Ace of Wands, 5 of Cups, and 10 of Cups. I do feel like you've had a lot of disappointments in the past. Disappointments seem to be coming up a lot now. I really don't have a good example. I really don't know why. Could be Jupiter retrograde. Could be Neptune and Pisces. I feel like people could be having a lot of disappointments as far as family is concerned, or if it's not family, it could be disappointments based on past traumas, or it could also be disappointments based off of past relationships as well. So it's kind of like 3 things I feel intuitively, where these disappointments could be kind of holding you back. I do feel in the astrology as well that there is like a little bit of this energy of needing to push it as far as energy is concerned. I'm not saying waste your energy. Definitely conserve your energy, rest, relax, recover, heal as much as you possibly can. But I do feel like it's like, things just feel a little bit more like if we're trying to accomplish something, it's kind of like we're in that stage of pushing the boulder up the hill, right? It's like kind of we're really having to exert some extra energy if we're wanting to make progress right now. I definitely get that feeling for you here. This is not necessarily a bad thing, because in a lot of ways, if you're pushing a boulder up the hill, you're going to get pretty strong pretty quick, right? So, that's what I'd say here. But I do feel like it's going to require work, whatever it is that you're working towards. Ace of Wands card of great growth and abundance. Ace of Wands is my favorite card in the deck because, again, the reason I love the Ace of Wands is because it's like just that one thing that we need to be successful in life. It's like that one little glimmer of hope, right? It is the inspiration. It is like the roots going down into the soil, the thing that gets us started on some sort of journey or path, whether it's to marriage or to some sort of change in our destiny with the Wheel of Fortune. 10 of Cups, fortune after difficulty, a lot of happiness coming in for you. It's kind of weird because I almost feel like this is separate, this 10 of Cups. Like I feel like it's not part of this, but at the same time, I feel like things could be going well if you're getting into like a new connection as far as love is concerned. Let's see. You have the Magician. Yep, you have, again, hidden hidden talents, gifts, skills, and abilities. How crazy is it that I said that? There's some sort of skill that you have that I feel like could be turning into a marketable skill, meaning, something that could be used by other people, something that could make you money. Doesn't even have to make you money. I feel like, really any skill could help us in love, could help us in spirituality, could help us help other people. We can use our skills for so many different things. And that's what the magician represents. And I feel like you're starting to realize that with this power. I do feel like you're very attractive at this time as well. You have the Four Cups here. And the King of Pentacles, definitely manifesting things very quickly, is what I would say. With the Four Cups, I don't like the Four Cups personally as a card, but with the Magician, I love the Four Cups, because to me, it's like super manifestation. And so you could be manifesting things very quickly. As far as love is concerned, this looks like a permanent relationship is coming in for you. So if you're looking for love, this looks very good. I feel like there could be someone very long-term, permanent type of connection coming in here. Next, you have the Knight of Wands again, and the Andean Cross. Like I said, I feel like you've almost completed a cycle here. I kind of feel this energy for a lot of people, where it's like, I feel like people kind of feel like they've made a circle. I feel like people just feel like they're back at the beginning, if that makes sense. Like, you ever watch one of those movies where people are like trying to walk through the jungle and they end up right at the same spot, right at the beginning? I kind of feel like you feel like that in some area of your life, where you feel like you're kind of like not really starting over, but it's kind of like you made a loop, you made a circle here. What I feel like you need to realize is that you've learned a lot, and you've made a lot of progress, and you've strengthened yourself pushing that boulder up the hill. This is going to lead to Four Wands, freedom. The Four Wands is really a card of completion, and it's a card of reaching a finish line. I always say there's this like garland thing up here represents a finish line. So, the Four Wands is a card of accomplishment, and I feel like you've accomplished something here, and it's time to move on to the next level. I always say Four Wands is a portal. It's like needing to go to the other side. These people are celebrating. These ladies right here, these are the party poopers. They're preventing people from getting into the party. So I always say this Four Wands in the Golden Tarot is my party pooper card, and it basically says ignore the party poopers, right? There are plenty of people out there who are going to say, oh, you shouldn't be successful, you shouldn't be this, you shouldn't be that. Those people are losers, right? Do not listen to those people. I feel like you need to push past this energy of like people who could be blocking you from celebrating. There are a lot of reasons not to celebrate. I always tell people, it's like, I don't know, there's just like this just weird energy I feel in the world where people are like, everybody's miserable, so you have to be miserable too. And I think that's bull. Right? I feel like that's bullshit. I never swear on YouTube, but I'm going to, because I feel like it's bull, is what I would say to you, Sagittarius. I feel like it's totally ridiculous, and it's actually counterproductive as well. So what I would say here is block out the party poopers. You have the Wheel of Fortune, Three of Pentacles. Definitely a celebration coming in for you, and like a significant change in your destiny with the Wheel of Fortune. Let's see what this change is. A new beginning, Fool, taking a leap of faith. The Six of Wands, a lot of success, and the Ace of Wands, total new beginning. Love it. Amazing. This is like a very passionate new beginning that's coming in for you here. I like this a lot. I feel like there's a lot of happiness coming in for you. Very similar to the Aries reading as well. If you have Aries in your chart, I would definitely watch that reading. I said to Aries that it's like you're coming out on top, and I said it on the Six of Wands, and that's kind of how I feel for you. It's like cycle. Remember I said you're back at the beginning. It's like you're back on top here, and you're more in control of your destiny. I feel like you're living a life more of joy, happiness. This is what you're being called to do. Every single reading I do for you, Sagittarius, is all about kind of like being pulled towards, joy. Knight of Wands twice, desire, that's a card of desire. Ace of Wands twice, are you kidding me? Sagittarius, Ace of Wands is a card of desire, doing something you desire to do. It's like you're being pulled away from something that is very fixed, King of Pentacles, and I feel like you're being brought to something that's more creative, has more freedom involved with it. Some of you, I've been saying this to you for weeks, that I feel like for some of you, it's like you're going from a career to something more that's more free. It could be another career. It could just be a change in your career. Could be starting a business. Could be anything. Same thing in love as well. I don't think you're going to be very tolerant of, I think that, what I would say to you, Sagittarius, is as far as love is concerned, what I see here is I see you noticing in people, like if you're dating a person, if they're not willing to change, I feel like you're it's like you're looking at it as fear. Sometimes I think, and this is not a good thing, is what I would say. So if you're with a person who's not like willing to grow or change, I think you're going to leave the situation, is what I'm trying to spit out here. Of course, as I always say to people, right, if you're in a good relationship, the person isn't willing to change, just talking to them is a good option, right? I feel like modern relationships, I don't know what the problem is, but what I would say is that not talking to your partner and not being like, hey, we need to change, we need to grow, we need to do this, like, let's do it, right? There's nothing to fear. That's a great way to solve the problem, right, is communication. But what I would say here is if you're dealing with a person who isn't willing to change or whatever, it's like you're seeing it as fear. You're seeing it as them trying to lock you down. It's kind of what's popping into my head, and not in a good way. I feel like you're seeing it as them like fearing losing you. So it's almost coming off as weakness, is what I would say here. I don't have any other word to use. So that's what I'm going to use. And I feel like you're going to be having a stronger desire to be with a person who's more into creation. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is the best card of creation in the deck. And what I mean by that is, literally could be creating life, right? Babies. Could be creating a new life, growing, expanding, traveling, moving, doing creative things in general. All that is what I would say here. But this looks very, very good. And so I like it. So thank you for being here, Sagittarius. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, Sagittarius, and definitely enjoy your week.